Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've got another Rivals episode for you today where I waffle on for a bit. You probably get bored. You watch me shooting them in CQB and then coming back and having a conclusion at the end of it. So hopefully you can bear with me for the longevity of this video. But the answer, or can we answer the question today, what is a better choice for you, the Gunsmodify 416A5 or the Gunsmodify Scar? To kick things off, both of these guns have been modified, so they're not in their original format. However, the most important part, which is the inner barrel, the hot rubber on both of these guns, is set up the exact same way, so they are running pretty much identical setups. I did have some issues filming on this day because previously we had changed out the bolt on the GM Scar, which this is the original one here. I can't actually remember what this is made out of. It doesn't feel incredibly light, so maybe it is some form of steel. It's I've got a magnet somewhere. So there is steel components inside it, but the part in itself maybe is just some form of alloy. But we changed this part out for a steel Scar bolt from Top Shooter. And that is what caused all my issues with this gun on that day. It's still in there. I need to swap it back. But all I can say is that Top Shooter CNC steel bolt for the GM Scar, just avoid it. It's no good. And I wish I was running it in its original format. But we got to do what we got to do. So both guns are modified. This one more than the 416, because I've got a front end on there with a Tiger Claw die-free code grip. We've got an ACR stock at the back. In my opinion, it does make the gun more comfortable. The 416, however, is pretty much as it came. All it's got is a Magpul MOE grip on the rail there. So I think both of these do have valves in. Yeah, so they've got the blue Jaeger M passes in. Again, just making sure they're shooting at 1 joule with a 0.25 gram BB to make it everything fair. And I haven't shot this gun in a while, so that'll be interesting. I have shot this one recently, but we do have some issues with the bolt. 0.25 gram BBs, propane in everything that we test. We test it on Tokyo Marine MWS mags. We test it on Gen 1 and Gen 3 Gunsmodify P mags. And we also test it on the EMG, CGS, Cyma, Lancer, whatever you want to call them, CGS mags. So we're trying it on all of them, seeing how we do. And yeah, so I was actually surprised how well this shot, because I hadn't shot it in a while. I've took both guns to weekend games, so they've both had, you know, a weekend's worth of gaming, and they, to be honest, they didn't really let me down at all. Obviously, before I change the bolt on that, I have had issues with full auto on this, which I'll go to in the video. So let's cut to Netsi. Let's get some footage from HC2. We'll get that rolling. We'll come back on camera and talk about what we experienced. Time for another Gauntlet Rivals episode, but this time we've got the Gunsmodify 416 and the Gunsmodify GM Scar. They're both set up the exact same way, exact same barrels and hop upgrades. The only thing that's different is obviously what they are, and obviously they have different bolts, of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, instead of going 3 rounds with the Scar, 3 rounds with the 416, we're going to do 1 for 1 with the different mag types. It's going to be slightly annoying because we'll have to switch the torch over. But I think it's a much fairer way to do it, because with the Toxie and the salvo, the more you got along, the more tired and fatigued you get, out of breath, and it might not be the best test. So for the P mags, we're going to do 1 Gen 3 and 1 Gen 1, like that. For the Lancers, let's just do a bit of admin here. Hopefully Netsi can cut out the bits where I'm not talking here. But and although these are the Rivals, it might just be for those people who are going, right, what I can't decide the two. These are the two I'm going for. which one do I go for. So I'm going to go scar first with a TM mag. Just give it a go. We have got the steel bolt in this now. I'm getting a couple of misfeeds. Might be a hop issue after we change the bolt, but to be honest, it's firing a bit sluggish with that steel bolt. Like, you haven't got much of a benefit for the recoil, but it just seems a bit like not smooth. Yeah, definitely don't recommend this steel bolt. The gun used to run really well, and now it's running a bit poo. Still completed it though. I don't know what's going on there. All we've done is swap out standard bolt for the steel bolt. It's very strange. It's like we've got no hop as well, but am I turning the hop off? I can't remember. I think I was turning the hop off. Yeah, it's not a hop issue. That bolt is just performing like utter Willy Wonka rubbish. Full auto seemed to work okay though. This gun performed phenomenal when I ran it on a game day, but I put that steel bolt in and now we're having issues. So what I'm going to do, it's probably not a fair representation on the day, but I'll have to go back in and swap that bolt back out for the original. Bit of 58, not bad. Not bad at all. You guys have seen this gun many a times before. We haven't seen is much of this one. So we're going to be focusing on this one today. Using the T238 suppressors now. One thing that does annoy me, the tracer, sorry, about this tracer, it's got very shallow thread. So you see how it doesn't go down all the way to the barrel? They need to sort that. I haven't shot this gun in a long time. There we go. 416. See if I can get used to it again. Nice. Bit of overhop. This was, last time I used this I was set up for .4s. So we're going to have some overhop. It's not a problem though. At the moment it's shooting better than the Scar does, but that's because we've messed about with the Scar. This thing's very good. I do have a nice barrel and hop in it. Same barrel and hop I have in every gun. I did try some maple leaf hot rubbers, and to be honest they're a load of shit, but went back to what I know, Flamingo, and yeah, it was performing really good at some milsim games we did, shooting .4 gram BBs. So nice solid recoil for this as well. This has it come out the box apart from the barrel and hop parts. And it actually worked on full auto, which is strange because it doesn't normally. See what time that was. It's bound to be better than the Scar. Yeah, 6 seconds better. So there's going to be people out there, I can already see it in the comments below. There are people going, well, you shouldn't have messed with it. Well, as a reviewer, how am I meant to give you feedback unless I try stuff? What you should take away from this is it's saving you making a terrible decision buying this bolt and having it mess your gun up. We'll try it on the P-Mag, see if it's any better. I'm going to try it without the torch. Oh, give it one for good measure. Oh, it's really better on the P-Mags. Now, in the first game day, I did run it on TM Mags, so we're going to a Gen 3 P-Mag now. I'm not sure if that first target fully registered. We'll find out soon enough. Yeah, it did. It is that hot here today, people, that it's like there's a rain cloud in my helmet and it's just streaming down. 32 plus degrees. For some reason the gun ran better with the P-Mags, I don't know why. What I do find on the Scar is this doesn't always latch back in. It is what it is. Right, reorg some mags. P-Mag time for the 416. I do miss this gun, but I need to change it up. I'm not a fan of this grip. I'm not a fan of this grip as well, although to be honest it doesn't really do anything bad. 53. Much better than before, 5 seconds better. Let's go for the 416. This does have an advantage of the light, but it is what it is. Very nice. Seems a bit more punchy and precise compared to the Scar. That being said, when I first had this gun, it didn't perform very well at all. And Gunsmodify have sent me some update parts, but I still haven't fitted them. Oh, come on. Stitch is starting to set back in. It might be a bit too much today, but like I've said, it's super hot. I am pushing myself harder to get better times. It's probably the wrong thing to do. 49, look at that. What I don't like about these P-Mags is the fill valves. The fill valves on these mags are shit. Sometimes they'll fill the mag, sometimes they won't. How many rounds are left in this? I think 1. Yeah. Oh. So all in all, so far, just trying to turn this fan. All in all, the 416 is performing better than the Scar. Now, disclaimer, that could be because I'm used to more of a AR-ish style body compared to the Scar. The Scar is a little bit chunkier, a bit longer. It's plenty comfortable. I mean, I've modified the hell out of it, but I'm going to do some slow runs now with these Lancer mags, because if I keep pushing myself, I'm going to end up passing out or something. But yeah, that steel bolt doesn't really add anything at all. I don't recommend it. I was expecting more from it, to be honest. I don't know what material the standard bolts may have. I presume it's aluminium, but it's plenty accurate though. It's not ridiculously heavy. It's a bit on the chunky scale, but It performs nice both in semi and full auto. I just think less people are going to get on with a Scar than a 416. The plus side that this does have, it has a much better grip compared to the 416. See, it can be absolutely phenomenal. The 416 is very slippy. It's a good test actually, being on a hot day, we're not having gloves on. The dye-free coat is still plenty grippy, where that 416 is starting to get a bit fishy in terms of slimy. Right, these Lancer mags, these CGS ones, are seeming to... We had that weird feed issue then, I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, see that? This gun is playing up. I don't know what it's doing. Now it's fine. It's so pointable. It's a shame it's overshadowed by whatever malfunction's going on with it today. See, it works. It works good, then it just starts playing up. I think the only common denominator here is that the part that we've changed, which is the bolt. So you live and you learn. I think it was a top shooter part, so maybe in future we avoid top shooter stuff. It's not to say all the stuff's bad, but I've just realised I've been doing all these runs with a can of propane in my pocket, in my pouch. Can the 416 run Lancers? More accurately, CGS Lancers. Hope you like this little box as well. Right, doesn't matter about the time. I think the 416A5 is cool, but the rails are still in the past. It's a lot more punchier than the Scar, let's put it that way. I need to bring this back out of storage and get some... Look how accurate it is. Again, I'm using a tracer and a torch. I'm not using the red dot. I don't... The way I shoot in CQB is very idiotic compared to how you should do it. So I just place the gun in the centre of my body and I just look down the bore and I just follow the bore with my eyes. And as you'll see, a lot of people out there might criticise it, but I do perfectly fine. You've also got to remember, shooting on the move is difficult if you're not trained, and I'm not trained, which is why sometimes I struggle, but it's nice to use this again actually. The last time I used it at a weekend game, and I had an LPVO on it, and it ran great. 0.4s at just around about a joule, and the only issue I had was we were in the dark using the night vision, and we're up on this hill, and the car, enemy team, pull up in a car. I've got the drop on them. They all get out. They have no idea I'm there. They're pushing towards my friendly team. And I literally wait for them all to get out of the car, I flick it to auto, and I'm gonna try and rinse all of these guys in one swoop. And I remember going, and that happened. That's what we're talking about. That. It jams up. only it happened on the very first round. I'm not sure if those parts from Gunsmodify are going to fix that, so I lost the element of surprise because only one round came out. It hit the first guy, and then I had to duck behind cover because they knew where I was, where I should have just kept it on semi and just and just, you know, shot them as much as I could. It was a real world airsoft scenario, and it let me down. So after that game I put it in the gun rack and we didn't touch it again. So if you want to do full auto with these things, I think the Scar is the better option. The Scar is the more modern option. It's the later release from Gunsmodify, but they're both a good choice. They're both good guns. They're not insanely expensive if you get them from the right places. They're both about the same weight. They both take the same mag. With the 416, I'm going to have to fit the updated parts and see if that helps. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to, because in my opinion, I think what's happened is the bolt is really sloppy in the receiver, and I think sometimes it can grab a BB out the mag, and because it can move that way, it sort of rides up above the BB rather than loading it. I'm sure HAO had the same thing with their 416 kits, and they had to introduce that bolt carrier sticker. I'm wondering if Gunsmodify perhaps slightly copied HAO, who knows. But I'm going to call it there. I'm going to let these boys pack up and go home for the day. Hope you liked it. Hope it helps you make a decision. They're both great guns, just they have their little niggles. Nothing's ever perfect, is it? So let's put these mags away and we'll try and carry all this down. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed my suffering, because very much what has gone down today. And we'll be seeing you in the next one. So the Scar, you've seen it in gameplay videos already, in CQB. This thing is really, really good. The full auto on it's good. The semi-auto on it's good. It's a bit more of a learning curve because it's so much more of a different geometry to like a normal AR or 416 that it does take a bit of getting used to. Not having a charging handle here, having it up the front like so. But, you know, it performed as you'd expect. So it still did a stellar job. Just we had some malfunctions because of that part. Nothing I could do about it on the day. We'll obviously be switching that back and then seeing if we still experience the same issues or whether that's fixed pretty much everything we needed to fix. The 416, however, shot superbly. I took this, like I may have explained this in the Gauntlet footage, but I'll just, you know, quickly go over it here. I took this to a game. I had the drop on a bunch of people. I flicked it to full auto. It jammed on the first round and it messed up my ambush on these said people, which if I'd have just kept it on semi-auto and just, you know, rapid fired it, I would have done what I needed to do with these gentlemen that got out of this car in the middle of the night. But it still performs beautifully. Now, I have decided to order some bits for this. Whether they're going to fit or not, I don't know, because they are for different manufacturer platforms. Hopefully we can get it to adjust it and get it on there. The main thing that I really struggled with was this grip. It's a very odd shape compared to ones that I'm used to. Now, I am a massive advocate of the dye-free Co stuff. And since we've started pushing dye-free Co, I've seen not only these popping up all over in the UK, which hopefully they did come and get it from us. If they did, I appreciate it. But we've seen these popping up all over Asia as well and getting super popular. And it's just because the grip, it doesn't suit all variants of the same platform, but it is just, in my opinion, to this day, the one that I think is best. Now, I've delved in a lot of Magpul stuff, but I think what I'm going to do is get a tan or an FDE dye-free Co and slap it on here, because the grip did let me down. It went super slick in the day. I was struggling to hold on to it, and the geometry of the grip just isn't for me. And I think having shot the Scar first really emphasised that. So they both shoot really well. We did actually get a jam on full auto on this, which happened much later in the mag compared to at the start. Now, it could be a case of, because we have seen various different things happening with my MWS mags. My MWS mags, my Maru ones that is, are have been used for such a period of time, it could be that I need to start thinking about replacing the feed lips. And I might do some testing on that, get some new feed lips, pop it onto one of the mags, see if it happens on that mag compared to the others, and just do some delving into it and try and quantify where the issue is. So I tend to have the issue more with a 0.25 than any other heavier weight. Now, when I recently did a weekend game where I ran the Scar using 0.3s and above, I had no issues, and then coming back to a 2.5, we have a little bit of an issue. But I don't know, we're going to have to delve into that, or I'm going to have to delve into that and find the issue is. So with everything that I've shown you, what do I feel is the better platform? Well, I think they're pretty much equal. They're different variants, of course. You know, a Scar it's kind of similar to an AR, but it also isn't. There's a bit more of a learning curve with this if you're used to shooting at AR. If you like shooting ARs and you've got ARs and you don't really care between the two, you know, in terms of what they are, you are going to have a better time on with the 416. And this isn't the extreme 416, this is the cheaper one that they did. So yeah, it shoots really well. If you want something different, you want a Scar, I think, to be honest, this is probably the best Scar gas blowback that I've ever used. Yeah, of course, it runs all my mags that I already have, which is a plus, but it just seems to perform really well until obviously I mess with it. And like I said in the video, I know there's going to be people out there, well, you shouldn't have messed with it. Well, how do I know how to give you guys my, you know, feedback on these parts unless I test them and find issues? So hopefully me testing that Top Shooter CNC steel bolt and finding out it doesn't really perform very well is going to save you guys spending your money and getting the same experience. So I'm spending the money that you don't have to. So before you judge, just sit back and enjoy the free review. So I have had parts sent to me by Gunsmodify. They sent me 2 of these little kits. Now these are for, if I can get these spaced out in the bag, you've got a nozzle valve there. That to me looks like a hammer spring. You've got this piece that sits on the bolt carrier, which, let me just show you here, has been modified. So this part basically sits on the bolt carrier, and it's what, you know, sort of as it comes back, it resets your hammer. This one has a lot less it doesn't stick out as much, so it's a lot more subtle geometry compared to the original, so we'll have to test that. We've obviously got hammer spring, we've got nozzle spring. I'm not really sure what this part is. Maybe it's for the roller for the bolt. I'd have to double check. So literally they've just been sent to me blind, so I don't really know. You can buy these upgraded part sets, so all their new guns now should come with this stuff done. But you can buy these upgrade parts from, I think, Fire Support. I've seen have them in stock, but they sent me a couple just so I can take a look, which is good because I do have a separate, I think this is it here. This is a separate Gunsmodify Evo bolt. So if they're the same part, then it would be nice that I've got a set for this bolt as well. So to me, that kind of looks the same. So maybe with the 416s, they just gave this a much stronger geometry. I suppose what I should do is I should show you rather than just talk about it. So the idea is that this bit here sticks out. Now, if I'm looking at it lined up, it does look a lot less aggressive in terms of its geometry. Now it's going to be difficult for me to show you this on camera, but it looks basically like it sits down a little bit lower here. I'm guessing the roller piece is for that piece there, and then we've got a nozzle spring and a hammer spring. So we'll have to have a look at that, see if it helps. It's meant to be like a full auto consistency upgrade, which, to be honest with you, I don't have problems so much with the full auto with it firing. I've just got problems with it jamming every now and again. So, but you know, free upgrade parts, or you know, I suppose for me they sent them out. If you had issues, I'm sure you could contact Gunsmodify and they'd send you these parts out. But stuff for another video for another day. So The Scar is pretty much set up how I want it to. I still love that thing. Glad I bought it. It was a long time in the waiting and I wasn't disappointed with it at all. The 416, however, we're going to spend some dough on. I'm going to replace the grip with a dye-free coat. I might replace the stock, and I have bought a new front end for it, but it's probably like a 20% chance that that thing's actually going to fit. So we'll get to that when it gets here, and hopefully I can exchange all this for a nice, lovely M-Lock front end. So thanks for tuning in as always. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it answered any question if you're looking at these two platforms. They're the only Gunsmodify full guns that I have, so it would make sense for me to compare them to each other. Thanks for tuning in to another Rivals episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below which was your favourite in this video. And as always, from me and Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.